Satan, we about to drag your kingdom down. Oh, glory, Satan, we about to drag your kingdom down. You've been building up that old kingdom, Lord, all over this land. Telling you, Satan, it's time to drag your kingdom down. Oh, hallelujah. Satan. Let me stop. Hey, YouTube. Well, I'm here to talk about Greenleaf, episode 3. Right? Okay, so it opens up. By the way, people, something I discovered yesterday. I think I discovered it last year. I forgot about it. But if you have Comcast and you're watching Greenleaf on channel 220, I believe, you can also, 2 or 3 hours earlier, like it comes on at 9 o'clock, you can watch it at 3 o'clock if you simply go to your HD channels, which is your channels in the 800s, 800s. So on channel 820 HD, you're able to see it 3 hours early. Just FYI, in case somebody didn't know it like me. So you can watch it a lot earlier. And other channels as well. All right, this thing opens up with Grace. And I forget that guy's name. What's his name? Is it Garrett? Grace's little love interest at the reporter, right? Is working on this case about H&H. Well, Grace is out there by the pond. That mansion is massive. It has its own lake or pond, fishing hole, or whatever you want to call it. And he pulls up, Jarrett does, I think his name is Garrett, or are looking into the Edenvale Lending. That was the company that pastor had passed on to them. That was the name. He wouldn't give him much information, but he told him to look into that company. So when the reporter goes to look into it, he is confronted by his editor at the paper, right? So the editor wants to pull him off the story, H&H. And when he resists, or he says that the editor says he wants him to start covering local politics, right? State and local politics. And he says, well, Bob is about to run for senator. Wouldn't that be the same story? And when he resisted, the editor fired him. So this Bob character has a lot. Essentially, Bob killed the story. And when he resisted, they got rid of him. So he is not leaving, however. He is now covering his story independently. You're a reporter, you have that option, you know. It's always nice to have a paycheck, but he still can do whatever he wants to do, right? He's going to Vegas to check into this company where his company is supposed to be based. Grace says she looked it up and she tried to investigate online, but she could only find, she could barely find it online. Like someone was trying to cover up the company as if it never existed. It wasn't there. So he's going to take a trip to Vegas on his own dime, right? They kind of hit around her coming with him, but she's got too much going on with her son. Okay, next thing we see is Jacob. You know, him and his wife are about to divorce, and I wish they would. I don't like it. I never liked her from the first day. She got a little better last season. She was more likable last season, actually the last 2 seasons. But we're getting the Carissa that we got when the thing first started. She was always bossy, always trying to run everything, even though it's not really her family. She is an in-law. He married her. Now he's telling her, listen, if this is where it's going to be, arguing with you all the time, you know, you come and waking me up and shit, why don't you just move out? And she replies that she's not moving out until she gets what's rightfully hers for her family. He's getting a little bolder. He told her that the deal, when you call your lawyer next time, tell her the deal is off. I want at least joint custody. No deal. Baby, please be quiet. If you're going to be here, you got to be quiet, okay? He understands English. Okay, so she's refusing to move. Everybody in the house hates her. Uh, May is getting very aggressive about the bishop having a physical. What he probably needs is a mental evaluation as well, because he keeps forgetting things. Sorry to tell you, May, it's going to happen to you too. People, you get older, you start forgetting things. But she is concerned about him because he did, after all, have a heart attack in the pulpit. Now they're taking on this new project of starting a new church. So she's concerned about him. He's resistant. You know what? As a sidebar, they say that married men live a lot longer than single men. I read this in the paper years ago. I thought the story was fascinating, so it stuck to me. And it makes sense because single men does not have anyone there to nag them and make them take care of themselves, right? If you are married, your wife is going to be watching out for your diet as well as you. If you're married, your wife is going to make sure you go to the doctor and do a lot of things that a single man would not necessarily do. I strongly suspect that if James was single, this wouldn't even come to mind. He's so resistant. So if you have a wife, somebody going to motivate you or nag the hell out of you, you'll probably live longer. Okay. Next thing we see is Miss Tasha. Jacob visits Tasha and wants to meet Bassy's other sister. Okay, so now, Jacob, by the way, Tasha is looking extremely well these days. She's very beautiful. And her style has gotten more refined. Before she kind of dressed kind of hip hop, but her style has got a little more refined since in this season. And she's looking good, right? He goes to visit her again. This time he wants to meet Bassy's other sister. So apparently Bassy had two sisters who were whole sisters, and he was a half. Baby, come on. You can't be there. I don't need no security, okay? I don't need it right now. Take a break. Or you gotta go in the bedroom. Okay, so he goes and see this girl. And she said, I want to meet her. So apparently Bassy had another sister. She is in ministry, but it's like a storefront ministry. Just a few chairs. She's at first hostile towards him because she's under the impression her brother's been telling her that the bishop killed their father by calling and asking him to come to the church. Then the church mysteriously catches on fire while he's in the church, right? This is what Bassy's been feeding her. Jacob seems to get to her a bit, where they leave open the possibility that maybe Bishop is not even guilty. Perhaps it was Mac that made this call and got this man to come down to the church. I don't know what the motivation of killing him was, but now Jacob is saying that in this will he found in the tackle box, the Greenleaf mansion was actually left to this man who was killed in that fire. See, that would be the motivation for killing him. That would be the motivation for killing him. It was not an accident. They're saying that someone summoned him there and then set the fire. Okay? Okay, so Sophia and Nikki. All right. Now, Nikki is living in the woman's... Zora has like a guest house, right? It's a beautiful little place to live. I would much rather live there than the mansion, really. So it's a very personal space. But the young girl, Zora, is living there, and she has, as a roommate, this girl, Nikki, who is the ex of this football player, right? But the football or basketball? Basketball player. Whatever. Anyway, Zora is already pissed off about this girl because she keeps trying to attach herself to her ex, right? And she's caught them together talking. Zora starts throwing this girl's clothes in the trash because the girl lives there now, and Zora lives in the mansion. And Sophia lives in the mansion, right? Sophia's over there talking to Zora, which they're barely on speaking terms, and start throwing this woman's clothes in the trash. As she's throwing the girl's clothes in the trash, Nikki's clothes in the trash, Nikki comes in. and they start to argue, right? And their argument, when Nikki throws into Zora's face that she can't have children, Zora takes off after that ass, shall we say. So they have a real knockdown, drag out fight, right? Zora seems to manage to get them separated and tells the girl she has to leave and not come back, which seems to be a practical thing. Why would you have the ex living in the house with your cousin and whatever? Anyway, so they had a knockdown, and Zora tells his girl, listen, I did not tell her anything. Cause, of course, Sophia's wondering, how did this, I can't say the B word, I'm on punishment. How did this woman know that I could not have children? Only it was a family secret. Not many people knew about it. But Sophia assures her that she was not the one. Okay. May is trying to get, May is either actively trying to get or hoping that Grace and Noah, who is Sophia's father, back together. Now, talk about your old time silent type man. This man has been in 5 or 6 scenes now. He ain't said a word. He doesn't talk. Oh, that would drive me nuts. He didn't say anything, right? So they used to be lovers. Grace and Noah. Noah was the caretaker for the land. I think he was the security for the estate and the church. And then they had a baby together. Okay. So May likes him. She likes him a whole lot, as a matter of fact. And she's trying to get her daughter back interested in Noah. And as he's moved back to town, and he says he's going to get an apartment, right? She says, well, Zora is moving out of the cottage. What, you can move into the cottage, right? And then Sophia said, hey, slow down. Could you slow down? Because she and Noah have not resolved their differences, right? Because I think she was in love with Noah, and Noah married another girl, but the marriage didn't work out. Okay, but May continues to hope. She's she's very excited whenever he comes into her room. Phil asks Charity. Phil has the nerve to ask Charity that he wants her to be in charge of the music. Charity is convinced that she is a preacher. She is intent on pastoring somewhere, right? So she doesn't even like singing anymore. God gave you a gift, woman. Stand in your gift. Stop trying to take other people's gift. Because we have not seen any indication at all that Charity can even preach. These people, they should show us the samples of some of these preaching, because she is determined to be a pastor. Her family has never taken her seriously. They acknowledge that she is a talented singer, and she has been, the head of the music department for what's the church name? For the church. Stop, boy. Come here. Squinty. Come here. Hey, get it bum over here. What is he going to do? Dee dong dong dee 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 dee. Say hello. Hello, people. How you doing? I'm security. I got to take care of my daddy. What you doing? You're going to go in the bathroom. Hold on, people. Let me get rid of my baby. He's very hyper today. I got to get rid of my baby. Put in the bedroom. Go in there and watch cartoons. Go in there. Forgive me, people. So now where were we at? Okay. Phil wants to have her in charge of the music department. She says, no, I want to be the associate pastor. Why would this woman, if she can't preach, how's she going to hold a church if she can't preach? She is determined. Anyway, she makes a deal with him to lay out a music program or help the other people get started. But she wants to be associate pastor of his church. He's going to think about it. No one seems to think she can preach except her thus far. Okay, it's basically really... Now we come back to the question. We keep hearing about Bassy again. So my suspicion is he's not dead. He has faked his death and disappeared because those gangsters were after him. So the last season we saw him in a gas station, and these gangsters had been alerted. Although he had a pocket full of money when he left, him and his other sister, Rochelle. Not Rochelle. Yeah, Rochelle. Anyway, they didn't show us him getting a bullet in the head or anything. They showed him driving off from the gas station and these people following him. That's all we saw, right? So now this girl is insisting that he's dead. Although if he had a plot to disappear, I don't know that he would even necessarily involve his wife. She's been portrayed as a little bit of an airhead, right? So he's always manipulated her, and she not really know what was going on. But she's saying that he's dead. It's a mystery at this point. Jacob meets his second sister. Okay. Oh, I saw that already. Where he meets the second sister and confronts her about the father's death. Well, I don't know why this lady, whoever she was, will be leaving this grand estates to the handyman or the janitor. But that's what they're saying, that Matt was hiding this ex-will, that the will had been changed, even though she has a right to change her will. So it's a legal conundrum now. Of course, this being the Greenleaf show, they're probably going to make Bishop innocent. I mean, it's the last season, so we'll see. So, okay. What's the young lady's name who is, I'm talking to you like you could talk back to me. The lady who is Bishop's secretary, kind of a big girl. She's a young girl. We never heard her sing or anything, but she's volunteering to be to head up the music department. She's saying that she can carry a tune and she knows how to push play, which means she knows how she can sing off of a track, right? And they agree. They want charity. She don't want it. And the other guy, the little gay guy, he left. He got another job. So they say, okay, you're hired. So she's going to help in the music department. I don't know how much the music. They're starting off from nothing. I don't know why they don't include the congregation and where they stand with this. Because the church is the congregation, right? So is he going to start a new church and then people are going to follow him because they've been following in him? And it'll start as a big church, or they got to start from the grassroots and with just a few chairs around the stage. I don't know. There's some things that are kind of vague here. One thing being, this church is supposed to be bulldozed in a week. So why this woman, Julie, comes in, she wants to paint it pink and take over Charity's office. Well, maybe it's a gesture, but a week? Why paint the whole damn building and redecorate and all that when they're loading shit in the truck? So that's how they're playing it. So where's this new church going to be? Apparently they'd have rented some space. But this whole construction thing is strange to me. They're supposed to be having a service next week while the building is bulldozed in some other location. You guys figure that one out, honey. All right. Sophia visits AJ. All right, so we know this boy is troubled, right? Y'all know I'm not really into the AJ character, but we know he's troubled by something. A lot of us suspect that he's not really her son. He's playing a role. Well, he calls Sophia there. He's going to say goodbye to Sophia again. He does seem to like Sophia, and he does seem to feel like they are family, right? She's the only one he doesn't have a problem with. Although I think they did get into it. He tells her something. Because she says, listen, if you can't be honest with me, I don't want to have anything to do with you. I'm done. I'm through. Right? You can just go, and then that'll be at the end of it. He tells her his truth. Sophia goes and tells, Noah and Grace are in the lobby of the hospital, right? They have not been able to see him because he refused to see him, right? Now, Sophia tells her mother that AJ wants to see her, talk to her. She goes up there, and now he sits her down, and he breaks with his truth. And his truth is, remember now, the nurse asked her when he tried to commit suicide, did she have any contact with his blood? Was she cut in any way? People, tell me why I can't remember to unplug the damn phone. Whatever. How many rings would it go? I'm about to get rid of this house phone. This new system they're putting in here, we're going to be able to answer the phone through our cell phones. But right now, this is the only way I can answer my door. So somehow, some of these YouTube freaks have gotten hold to my home phone number, and I've been getting crank calls, right? But they don't realize that I don't need that damn phone. I can just unplug it. The only reason it's only good to me to open the door, and ain't nobody coming over here, so what's the point? Anyway, back to our story. She sits down, the mother, Grace, with her son, and he tells her what the problem is, why he tried to kill himself. Although, well, I don't know. I'm just telling you what happened. He tells her that when he was in prison, he was raped by more than one person, and one of those people gave him HIV. That's his story. They only show her with tears rolling down her face. That's what he's so disturbed about. It seems to me, though, if he came out of that situation, he made it through that horrible situation in prison, and now he's got these rich people who are his family, who are bending over backwards to be his family. I don't know why he would want to kill himself now. I could more understand it if something like this had just happened. They were emotional, and then they did it in prison. But he is so disturbed and so wrecked and ruined because he was raped in prison. We don't know, honey. That was not my experience with prison, but this could very well be his experience with prison. So maybe he was so ashamed of the fact that he had this disease, would explain why he broke into a pharmacy. Perhaps he broke into the pharmacy to steal HIV medication. We're just guessing at this point. That's where they ended. Right? And this is where they ended, right? No, there's more to the story. Okay. Oh, yeah, I jumped ahead a little bit. Okay. Jacob confronts Bishop. All right. So that's where the thing ends, but I skipped ahead a little bit. Jacob confronts his father. She confronts the bishop about the will, about the house, and about this phone call that was made to lure this man into this church, supposedly to be killed. Now that is the motive, because we all wanted to know why would they want to kill the janitor? Was it just an accident that he happened to be there when the fire was set, right? And then he killed him, but it was an accident. Right, because he didn't realize the man was in there. No, but they're saying no, someone called, and the reason would be because this whole estate was left to the man who was killed. Why you would leave your estate to the janitor, I don't know. But Jacob is trying to figure all this out. Bishop denies that he made the call, of course, so they're going to blame this on Matt. And Matt could very well be the one who is guilty. Matt could, he was in charge of most of their business, right? It would be a business accomplishment that is a grand estate. Seems almost unfair that they just got it left by maybe a person in their church or whatever. They don't talk about the relationship between Bishop and this elderly woman, because we have to assume that it's because that's her pastor or her bishop, right? A lot of people leave their property to the church. Maybe the church is the one who actually owns the building. I don't know. Jacob is knee deep in that, but he's getting a little bit more confident about dealing with his wife. tell Carissa, well, you can go ahead and get out. I am seeking custody of my son, which is the right thing to do, because nobody liked the idea that you just signed off your children or your child that fast last week. She said, so that deal is dead, he says. I think I already mentioned that. Charity and May finally have an intimate moment. Well, I don't like to bring my clothes. I don't like it. It's hot in here. Charity and May have not been getting along since Charity caused them to lose that church, right? So now they have this, and even in this episode, May is not feeling her daughter at all, but she has an intimate moment with her, and Charity is the one who names the new church. They were trying to find the right name for the new church, and the name includes their daughter Faith. Faith. So I don't remember the name of the church. Maybe it's on here. And Charity offers her the position of associate pastor. Now, associate pastor doesn't necessarily have to be up front. Associate pastor can still be behind the scenes, because we still haven't seen this woman preach. Now, if she's convinced she can, no one else agrees with her. They've had their whole lifetime to view her. We don't know, but Charity says she'll think about it. All of a sudden, she's in demand now. Okay, that's where they left it. The actual end was when AJ confessed what was going on with him and why he killed himself. It's his story, honey. The writers can do whatever they want to do. Seems to me if he came out of hell, he would want to, into a situation like that, he would want to live. But no, it could be that this HIV thing is really pressing on him. Many people, especially in the old days, in the 80s, people would kill themselves left and right because they saw how tragic HIV was. But it's a totally different thing now. So maybe we'll use some of this season to talk more about his situation. Okay, people? Good talking to you. Talk to you next week. Later.